ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Hari Om, salutations to all. We were seeing about the Guru Parampara in the tradition of Advaita Vedanta, and your homework was to memorize that shloka of the Guru Parampara as well as the shloka of the mentioning the Upanishads, 10 Upanishads. I hope you have done that. So I will continue from there where we had left the whole lineage that we spoke about. We have to continue that. So we saw Narayanam Padma Bhuvam Vasishtham. From Bhagavan Narayana, Brahmaji is born, and Brahmaji's son Manasaputra is Vasishtha Rishi. Vasishtha Rishi's son is Shakti, and Shakti's son is Parashar Rishi. Last time we saw about the background of Parashar Rishi also, and how Parashar Smriti is the Smriti for Kali Yuga, and the whole story of Kalmashapada, etc. we saw. Now Parashar Rishi and to Satyavati, this child was born on an island which is called Krishna, and so he was named Krishna Dvaipayana. And as soon as he was born, he left to do the work of revival of our Sanatana Dharma by compiling the Vedas. There is a video of Puja Gurudev that I want to show you, that is on the story of Bhagavan Vedavyasa and his birth, and how Gurudev explains it so beautifully. Give me a moment. Many people think that, how can Parashar Rishi, he was crossing the Yamuna, and how is it that he could tell Satyavati that a child has to be born, and why did he spend time with her in that way? So Gurudev explains very nicely. Just see this video. Is the audio clear? There's no audio. Okay, 1 minute.
Yoginameva kule, in the family of a great yogi, bhavadedhi matam, this purified mind of this individual, since he has not a trace of desire for sense gratification, his only desire is to know the truth, he is born immediately after death into a yogi's family. Though we are all tempted to laugh at a yogi when we say that he is a great yogi and he has got a baby now, you and I feel like laughing and think that the yogi has fallen down. No, a Mahapurusha is to come, and therefore the yogi felt the need. The yogi is a true yogi, is a no ego or selfish desires. And yet when he suddenly feels the rush of lust, he understands it is his plan. Some great person is coming and I had to supply my seeds. Thus Vyasa's father, a great yogi, and he was crossing the Ganges on the boat. Suddenly he felt an urge which he had never felt for the last 30 years, let us say. He looked around. Where am I to place my seed? There is nobody. There was a fisherwoman, a lady, who is rowing the boat. So the Brahmin asked her, look, I am feeling to pour out, my seeds are coming out. I want a patra, a vessel to put it. Would you accept it? The poor girl said, sir, how can I do it? Both sides there are passengers standing there and it is an open river, in an open boat. How can I do? He said, don't worry about it. So then he with his tapascharya, because of his power, he brought a thick mist, both sides, thick walls, and that great yogi poured the seeds and the lady received it. That child of that Brahmin, in a fisherwoman, is the author of the Bhagavad Gita, the great Vyasa. See? Now he never even thought of it. It came, it was poured, and when he reached there, he said, bye-bye. Did not say, see you later. He went away. This is the thing that the Lord wants me to do, I did it. Full stop. It is that child who became Parashara's son, Parasharya, the great Vyasa. So the Parashara Muni Rishi, lost in contemplation all the time, when he suddenly felt the urge, he knew that it is not because of my lust that I am seeking my pleasure or my fulfillment in it. It has been the need of the world, and the Lord, the total mind, decided it. Here I am. I did the karma without egocentric desires, surrendering to him. He did it. He is not developing a vasana out of it. Thus, athava, or either go to heaven and then come back to the world, or yoginam eva kule, an individual can be born in a yogi's home, like Adi Shankara. And when Vedas were born, even at the age of 8, Shankara took sannyas and he started writing commentaries upon the Upanishads and the Brahma Sutra. At the age of 80, Mahatmas don't understand the deeper significance of Upanishad. Here is a boy of 8 years old writing commentaries, which is even today with us after 1200 years. An authoritative textbook on Vedanta. At the age of 8.
So how beautifully Gurudev explained that how by the divine will this happened and Bhagavan Vedavyasa was born. And as we know, Parashar Rishi went and Vedavyasji also went. He got the name Vedavyasa after he compiled the Vedas into the written form and classified them into 4 Vedas in that sense, and each Veda having mantra, Brahmana and the Vedanta portion. Now Parashar Rishi, to him Vedavyasji was born. Vedavyasji's son is Shukdevji. Shukdevji was in the womb of his mother for almost 12 years. And it is said that he did not want to come because he wanted an assurance that Maya will not touch him. Finally he got that assurance and he was born. It is said Vamdev Rishi and Shukdev Maharshi, both of them are enlightened at birth. And in the womb itself they had recollection of their past lives and whatever samsaric sorrows one has gone through, and understood that one has to come out of cycle of birth and death. So they were born as Jnanis. So as we know in the Bhagavatam also it is described that when Shukdevji was born, full of Vairagya, Digambar Vesha, he just left. And his father Vedavyasji, he was as though running behind him, saying, my son, my son. And Bhav of Shukdevji is such that he is identified with the whole Srishti, he doesn't have body identification. That's why it is said when he was going, there were gopis who were taking bath in the Yamuna and they did not bother about him. And he was young, he was 12 years old. And Vedavyasji was running behind him. Immediately the gopis covered themselves, and so Vedavyasji said, I am so old and he is so young, and you don't feel any need to cover yourself when he is going. Why do you do that when I am going? So it is said that they replied to him that he doesn't have the body identification. And in fact, Bhagavatam says that the trees were replying on his behalf to Vedavyasa Rishi. Because he was running behind him saying, where are you going, my son? So that is the great Shukdev Maharshi, and his Bhagavatam he taught to Parikshit Raja, and Vedavyasji, Parashar Rishi, all of them, they come there and they sit and listen to the Bhagavatam. Though Shukadevji has learnt it from his father only, Vedavyasji only, he has learnt it also, but still Vedavyasji comes and he teaches. Shukadevji teaches Bhagavatam and Vedavyasji sits and listens. So, this is the great Shukadev Maharshi. Now, Shukadevji's disciple is Gaudapada Acharya. Now, who is Gaudapada Acharya? So, a little bit of background. So, there is a village called Bhupala, and there Vishnudev and Gunavati, they are a couple, a Brahmana couple who are staying together near the ashram of Shukadevji in this place called Bhupala, and very sincere in studying the Veda, living the righteous way of life, doing the duties of a Brahmana, and always taking care of the atithis who come, serving them, doing their rites, rituals, study. Sincerely they are living the life, a very pious, noble life, and they did not have a child, so they did certain upasanas, and it is said that they went to the ashram of Shukdev ji also, and they sat down there and they did for 7 days. Continuously they were doing sadhana there, and their desire was that may we have a progeny. So there is a voice that they hear after 7 days from Shukdev ji's ashram there, that you will have a very brilliant child who will be born to you, who will be omniscient, and who will be a great proponent of this knowledge of Advaita, and will also establish the glory of Advaita over all the other philosophies, over all the other darshan shastras. And so they were very happy. They returned, and in some time a child was born, and so the father named the child as Shukadatta. So Shukadatta, because the grace of Shukdev ji, and so Shukadatta was the name given to the child, and very brilliant. The father is a learned person, and in 5 years' time Shukadatta mastered the Vedas. 5 years' time, you see. Veda, Vedanga, Shastra, all of that he mastered. And what is the essence of the Vedic knowledge is what? To realize Brahman, to realize absolute oneness. That Jiva, Jagat, Jagadishwara are expressions of one infinite pure consciousness. To realize that is the purpose of study of the Vedas. And now he had that intense longing that I want to realize this truth. So he went to the ashram of Shukdev ji, and without food, water, he was there sincerely praying that please bless me with knowledge of supreme truth. And so after 2 days, again they hear the voice of Shukdev ji, and he says that you have to go to this place called Gauda Desha, and there is a teacher in my lineage. Shukdev ji says there is a teacher in my lineage. His name is Jishnu Dev. You study, you go to him, give him your introduction, tell him I have sent you, and he will give you Tattvagnan, by which you will realize my nature as all pervasive, and you will realize absolute oneness. So he goes, and he says, Shukdev ji says that the time has not yet come for you to have my darshan. You go there, get the knowledge from him. So Shukadatta comes back, tells his parents, and the parents are very insistent that they want to come with him. So he convinces them, saying that there is another child that is to be born to you. You have still certain time left and karmas to be done. So you stay and I will go. And so he walks. From Shukdev ji's ashram he walks to this place which is Gauda Desha, and he goes and prostrates, finds out where is Jishnu Dev, and he goes, prostrates to him, gives him his introduction, tells him that Shukdev ji has sent him, and Jishnu Dev is very, very happy and initiates him into Brahma Vidya. See, even after studying of the Veda from his father, he still went in search of Shukdev ji to get Brahma Jnana. If you read the commentary of Mundaka Upanishad, Shankaracharya ji, there he writes that Shastrajnyaha api swatantriyena Brahma Jnana anveshanam na kuryat. that one may be a very great scholar, one may have studied the Veda also, still one should not read the Upanishads or inquire into Brahmagyan independently just by oneself. Shastrajna api swatantrena Brahmagyan anveshanam na kuryat. One has to go to a teacher. And we saw that last time why a teacher is important, why parampara is important. And so he goes to Jishnu Dev Ji and he learns and he is initiated into this Brahmagyan. And Shukdev Ji, Shukadatta, from Shukdev Ji's ashram, he walked up to the ashram of Jishnu Dev in Gauda Desha. Gauda Desha is today's Bengal. So he was called Gaudapada. And Gaudapada got the knowledge from Vishnu Datta. And it is said here that by what Shukdev Ji had told him, that you will realize my all-pervasive nature and the nature of consciousness. So he understood, got the knowledge, got the initiation, experienced that presence of one absolute pure consciousness everywhere. And he wrote the commentary. So he, as we saw Muktikopanishad, how the Muktikopanishad says Mandukyam eva alam, Mandukyam ekam eva alam. So he thought that in Kali Yuga, as time passes, people will not understand Vedanta thoroughly, and more and more mind becomes grosser, more and more attached it becomes to karma, action. So he wrote the Karikas on the Mandukya Upanishad. He also wrote Karikas on Sankhya and on Uttar Gita. So not Karika, what we say, Karika on Sankhya and Bhashya on Uttar Gita. That also he wrote. Now there is another legend about him. What I told you now is based on what Akhandanandji Maharaj has written in his beautiful book called Jivan Mukta Sant. Now there is another work of Ram Bhadra Dikshit. He has written Patanjali Vijay, he has also written Janaki Parinay, and very nice background he has given of Gaudapadacharya ji. That version is a little different, but both versions we should know. So it is said that Panini Maharshi, he was there when the Damaru of Shivji, and through that the Maheshwara Sutras manifested and Panini compiled all those. And so it is also said that Patanjali Maharshi was also there, Vyaghrapada was also there. And who is Patanjali Maharshi? So Patanjali Maharshi is the avatar of Adishesha, and he has taken this form as Patanjali, Adishesha, where his as form of Patanjali, half his body is of the human and half his body is of a serpent. Vyaghrapada is half the body, the lower half is like the tiger, upper half is the human. So Patanjali Rishi, as Patanjali is supposed to be the son of Atri and Ghonika, and so he is also called as Ghonika Putra, and he wrote 3 treatises. All of us know Patanjali's Mahabhashya on Panini's Vyakarana Sutras. Then he wrote the Yoga Sutras also, Patanjali Yoga Sutra we know, and there is a commentary on Ayurveda. So the manual is called Charaka. So Patanjali Maharshi, he wrote these three, and concerning the mind, speech and the body. So Yoga Sutras is for the mind to transcend, to integrate the BMI and to go beyond. That is the Yoga Sutra. The speech is the Mahabhashya, and for the body is the treatise on Ayurveda. Now this Patanjali Maharshi, he wrote this Mahabhashya, and it is said that only Adishesha, who is endowed with 1,000 tongues, can explain it properly. So the word had spread that Mahabhashya has been written, and people from all over the country wanted to study that. In Chidambaram, Patanjali Maharshi, in the 1000 Pillars Hall at Chidambaram, that famous temple there in south, many students came from all over the country to study that Mahabhashya. Now Patanjali Maharshi, he thought that so many are there, how will I teach them? So I have to take the form as Adishesha. Adishesha has 1,000 hoods. But if I take the form as Adishesha, then even the sight of Adishesha or even the breath of Adishesha will destroy whoever is in front of him. That is the power. So he says that I will be behind a curtain and I will instruct. He gives a few conditions. He says that nobody should remove the curtain and peep beyond. Nobody should leave and go while the instruction is on. If they leave and go, they will become Brahma Rakshas. And so these conditions he puts, and he says that people who are agreeing to this have to remain and they can study, they can understand. So people accept. They have come from far and wide to study, so they accept. Now as the instruction is going on, one student is very curious that we are 1,000 students sitting here. How is it that each of us is able to hear him so properly and clearly? How is he talking? See, in those days it's not, mic system and all is not there, and the student was curious. He says, who is behind this? So they don't know it is Adishesha. Patanjali Maharshi told them, I will be behind this curtain and I will teach. And then he went behind, took the form as Adishesha, started teaching. And everybody is able to understand. So this one student who was curious, he moves the curtain to peep. The moment he peeps inside, it is Adishesha who is there. All the students get burnt to ashes. Now he is sorrowful. Patanjali Maharshi says, Arey, all these 1,000 of them, sincere seekers, got destroyed. But it is said at that time, there were only 999 who were sitting there. One student had gone out. That student came back. Here he says that that student was having some difficulty in understanding, so he said, I'll take a break and come back. So Rambhadra Dikshitji is saying that. Patanjali Vijay, in that he has written all this. So he went and he came back. Now Patanjali Maharshi is in his form as Patanjali, not as Adishesha. So he sees, hey, this one student, he felt very happy ki chalo, one student got left, 999 got burnt. But then he had told if anybody goes out and they leave while instruction is on, they will become Brahma Rakshas. So he says, now you will have to become Brahma Rakshas, but I will teach you whatever I know. All that I know, I will give you that knowledge. And so he gives him that knowledge. And beautifully it said here, may you get to know all that I know, but because you went out without permission, you have necessarily to assume the form of a Brahma Rakshas. Yet, there is a means of salvation from this. Whatever I have known, when I have taught you, you have to give this to somebody who is deserving. Then you will be freed from this Brahma Rakshas Yoni. Who is a Brahma Rakshas? See, Brahma Rakshas is someone who will catch a Brahmana who is well versed in the Veda, test him, and if that Brahmana does not reply properly, he will kill that Brahmana and eat that Brahmana also. It's Rakshas Yoni. Huh? Don't feel it is very weird. Different yonis have different food. Like carnivorous animals, they will eat the other animals. Like that Rakshas Yoni it is, Brahma Rakshas. So it is said, this is the description given here, that those who have studied the Vedas well and they die prematurely, they remain as the ghosts. They are endowed with the memory of the Veda, all the knowledge remains with them. But they will consume a Brahmana who is not living by the Veda, or who has not studied the Veda properly, or who is having some difficulty or make certain mistakes in maybe chanting or explaining, like that. So now this student who had gone was Gaudapadacharya. He became a Brahma Rakshas. Now he has to search for somebody who is knowledgeable. So where does he go and stay? Very interesting. So he goes to Narmada banks and he stays there. Why? Because in those times it is said that the north of the Vindhyas is called Gauda Pradesh, south of the Vindhyas is called Dravida Pradesh. This is not the Aryan invasion theory, please remember. The area above north is Gauda Desha, which includes not only Bengal, which includes all these other Punjab, Haryana, Kashmir or Rajasthan, all these. And south of the Vindhyas, Karnataka, Maharashtra, all these are called Dravida Pradesh. I am telling according to that time division. Okay, so Andhra, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gurjara, Dravida, they all are called the Dravida Pradesh. So scholars used to go up and down. Many scholars from South India will go to Varanasi, etc. to learn, to Kashmir to learn. People from Kashmir will come down to, like Chidambaram. So many youngsters came to Chidambaram to learn Mahabhashya from Patanjali Rishi. So cross-culture exchange used to happen so much. People used to travel in search of knowledge. So he went and stayed on the banks of Narmada, because in the center of the country it flows and people crossing up and down, they have to go through the Narmada. So he went and he stayed there. And what he would do, he would test whoever is a scholar passing by, either from south to north or north to south. He will ask them a question. Simple one grammar question he will ask, because the treatise in Mahabhashya is on the grammar. So he will ask them a grammar question. So he'll ask them the grammar question, and in grammar there are different suffixes. So this Nishta Pratyaya which is there, so certain words, how, so Bhuj becomes Bhuktam, means what has already been done. Ta is the Pratyaya, so what has already been done. So Bhuj becomes Bhuktam, like that, meaning what has been eaten. Then Sik becomes Siktam, what has been sprinkled. Raktam, that which has become red. Like that, he would ask a question that what will the root Pach become? So now a lot of people will say root Pach will become Paktam, because that time the Bhashya was not known to everybody. and the Brahma Rakshas will eat them. He will tell them ki no, Pach does not become Paktam, Pach becomes Pakvam, and he will eat. Now many days passed like that. He was not able to find somebody who is, knowledgeable, who is sincere. He'll eat. Whoever comes, ask them the question and they won't answer. One young Brahmana boy called Chandra Sharma, he was coming from Kashmir because he had heard about Patanjali's Mahabhashya, and so he said, I want to study. So he was coming down. He did not know all this has happened. He heard from somewhere that Patanjali Maharshi has written this Mahabhashya and he's teaching it to people. So from Kashmir, remember, from Kashmir he is coming down. And this Brahma Rakshas catches him. Now when Brahma Rakshas catches him and he asks him, ki what will Pach become in this Nishta Pratyaya when it is used? He immediately said it will become Pakvam. As soon as he heard that, he was so happy. He said, you are a fit student now. Where are you going? He said, I am going to Chidambaram. I want to learn the Mahabhashya. So the Brahma Rakshas tells him the whole background. He said, this is what happened, and Patanjali Maharshi has given that knowledge to me and he has gone. Now I have to teach it to you, and I have become Brahma Rakshas. This is my way of liberation. So you have to stay here. And he said, you have to sit down here with me on this tree and I will teach you. So he said, you should not leave the tree as long as I continue to teach you. You should not sleep. I will try and complete this as soon as I can. So he says, okay. And he can't go anywhere. He wants to learn. He wants to note down everything. So now what to do? So he makes one small incision on his thigh. And he takes the twigs of the branch, dips in his blood, and he writes whatever the Brahma Rakshas is saying day and night. He is writing on the leaves of that tree. And so 9 days and nights this goes on. And when the Brahma Rakshas taught him, without food, without sleep, he is just writing everything. Brahma Rakshas got liberated. Gaudapada Acharya got liberated because he fulfilled that condition. He taught a deserving student. And he went in search of Shukdev ji now. To Badrinath he went. And there he took sannyas from Shukdev Maharshi. And then he got the title also as Gaudapada Acharya. So this is how Shukdev ji guided him earlier to Jishnudev, then Patanjali Maharshi, then this Brahma Rakshas happened, then again he goes back to Shukdev ji at Badrinath, gets sannyas there, and he is there at Badrinath. Now what happened to this Chandra Sharma? So this Chandra Sharma, 9 days and 9 nights, he was absolutely exhausted. So he came down from the tree with all those leaves, whatever he had, he kept it near him and he slept off. So when he slept, a goat came and ate some of the leaves. And that's why the Mahabhashya which is available today is not the full Mahabhashya. It is some of the portions, they are called Ajabhakshitam. The goat has eaten. This Chandra Sharma, actually who is Chandra Sharma, is very interesting. Patanjali Maharshi, he thinks that so many days have passed and this Gaudapada is not finding any fit student, who will he find? How will he get released from the curse? So it is said Patanjali Maharshi himself took the form of this Chandra Sharma, and he comes to meet Gaudapada Acharya. So who liberated Gaudapada Acharya? Patanjali Maharshi himself took this form and he has come. How do we know he is Patanjali Maharshi? So this Guru Ratna Malika, beautiful one verse is there, where it is described that Haritalpa Harangri Nupura Kshamadhara Saumitri Bala Tripuratma Janma Jayatad Uparameva Matta Dhama Jaya Govinda Munihi Sa Chandrama Nama. Sa Chandrama Nama. This is the shloka there. This is describing all the avatars of Shesha. What are the avatars of Adi Shesha? So he says that Haritalpa and Hara Angri. He is the Adi Shesha on whom Bhagavan Vishnu rests, Haritalpa. He is the anklet on the feet of Bhagavan Hara, Shiva. Then Hara Angri Nupura. Then Kshamadhara. He is the Adi Shesha is supposed to be the support of the entire Brahmanda. Specifically here is Kshama, earth is written, but if you read Bhagavatam, it is said 14 worlds are supported by Adi Shesha, and all these 14 worlds are like one small grain of sand on the hood of Adi Shesha. So he is Kshamadhara. He is Saumitri. He only took the form as Lakshmana and he served Bhagavan Ram for 14 years without sleep. Which is what is the reason given here, saying how could Chandra Sharma be without sleep for 9 days? 14 years he has been without sleep in one of his earlier incarnations. And he is Patanjali Adishesha himself. So he says here, and that same Adishesha is now born as Patanjali in the home of Atri, so he is also called Atreya. Atri and Ghonika. And so that Adishesha has come here as Chandrama Nama Govinda Munihi. How he got the name Govinda Padacharya, that we will see now. So this Chandra Sharma, he came down and he slept a little bit, and when he woke up he saw, Arey, this goat has taken away. So immediately compiled whatever else was there, all those leaves, he tied them in one thread, and he took it with him. And it is said that he went to one home. As he was going, he came to the home of one businessman, Vaishya. He was very tired. Outside the house there are sometimes, if you see in olden days of houses, there are places for the Atithis to rest. People who are travelers, they'll just rest in the hot sun. So he went there, he slept off. So tired and exhausted that when they're trying to wake him up, he doesn't wake up. So the daughter of this Vaishya applies some rice paste on his body. So that because he's not waking up, he can't be given food, water and nothing, like how we do the IV drops nowadays, intravenous is done. Even today in Kerala, in many Ayurvedic treatments, they will apply things so that the skin will absorb. So she applied rice paste, and after some time he got, he came back to consciousness. Rice crushed in buttermilk. And so when he woke up, he looked around to see first whether that bundle of leaves was safe or not. That is safe with him. And this householder Vaishya stopped him, and so he took that bundle and he was going to leave. So this Vaishya says, no, you wait here, because he is very Tejasvi, Chandra Sharma. And Vaishya says that you please marry my daughter. He says, I am not interested in marriage and all that, I have other things to do. But this Vaishya insists, so he says, we will go to the king and we will sort this matter. This I would not accept. Very interesting thing happens here now. If you see, they go to the king. Before the dispute is even explained to the king feels, Are, such a young Tejasvi Brahmana is there, my daughter should marry him. So he wants his daughter, the princess, to marry Chandra Sharma. Then he's thinking that so he asks him, are you married? He says, no, I am not married. Before anything they say also, he already asked him, are you married? Will you marry my daughter? And so he wants to know whether such a marriage is supported in the Dharma Shastra. So he calls the minister. That minister, he sees him and he is also stunned. What a Tejasvi Brahmana he is. He has a daughter. Now he thought to himself that the king knows that I am in search of a suitable person for the marriage of my daughter. Now the time has come that I should give the. Now he still doesn't know that the king has called him for what. Now all the three want their daughters to be married to Chandra Sharma. And interesting thing is the dispute doesn't get resolved. So Chandra Sharma also thinks that okay, there is some divine will in this. All the three of them get married to him. And through each of them he has one child. So it is given here that after begetting the child from each of his wife, finally Chandra Sharma left his home. He said, I have done my kartavya, I have higher things to do, and he went in search of that same Gaudapada ji who taught him Mahabhashya. Because he knows that now he has been released from Brahma Rakshas Yoni, and he went to Badrinath. So he searches where is he. He doesn't know that he has gone to Badrinath. He only knows he has got freed from the Brahma Rakshas Yoni. So he finds out, enquires, makes all. Finally he reaches Badrinath. And so at Badrinath he meets him and he takes sannyas from him. So then he is given the name Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya. If you see in this, the Guru Parampara shloka that we are seeing, Narayanam, Padmabhuvam, Vasishtham, Shaktim cha, Tatputra Parasharam cha, Vyasam, Shukam. Till here is what we call as the Bindu Parampara. Bindu Parampara means what? The father and the son. Son is born from a seed from the father, one Bindu. So that is called Bindu Parampara, where the father only is the Guru also. So from Narayan Bhagwan, Brahmaji, from Brahmaji, Vasishtha Rishi, from Vasishtha Rishi to Shakti, Shakti to Parashara, Parashara to Vyasa, Vyasa to Shuka. This is called Bindu Parampara. Then after that comes the Nada Parampara. Nada Parampara means where the instruction is given by the Guru to the student. The student is not a biological child of the Guru. But in a way, that student also is a son only. That's why the person is what we say, if the person has initiated oneself into Brahmana as a Janev, Samskar, etc., Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, then they are called the Dvijas, twice born. The Guru becomes the spiritual parent. That is for Brahmanas, Vaishyas, Kshatriyas, those who get the Samskar. In Brahma Vidya, when the initiation is done through Tattvagnan, Mahavakya Upadesha is given, etc., then that is also where the student has been initiated by the teacher through this Brahma Upadesh, and so that is the Nada Parampara, through the Vakya, through the Shabda Praman. The student has got initiated, and in that way that student also is like the sun only, because through that the same vision is passing on, but there is no biological connection. And so after Shukadev ji, Gaudapadacharya, Govinda Bhagavat Pada, Shankaracharya ji, that is the Nada Parampara. Now Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya ji is also staying at Badrinath. At that point in time he took sannyas from Gaudapadacharya ji and he is staying at Badrinath. And Vyasa Maharshi comes there. And Vyasa Maharshi, when he comes there, Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya prostrates to him, and Vyasa Maharshi tells him that I have composed the Brahma Sutras, and to write a commentary on that, Bhagwan himself will take an avatar. Ishvara meaning Shivji himself will take an avatar, and he will come as Shankaracharya. You have to initiate him into Brahma Vidya, and so that avatar, when he will take on the earth, you have to be his teacher. So you go on the banks of Narmada again and you wait there. He will come. And when you meet him there, so he says you stay at the foot of the Ashwatha tree there, and when you meet him, initiate him. And so when these four teachers are there, Shukadev ji, so Vyasa Maharshi, Shukadev ji, Gaudapadacharya and Govinda Bhagavat Pada, they all four are at Badrinath at one and the same time. There it was decided that they will come, Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya ji will come down and wait at the banks of Narmada. So we know that how Shankaracharya ji sought his teacher from Kerala. He went walking up to Omkareshwar, that Mandhata island, where Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya ji was there. It is said he was waiting for 1000 years for Shankaracharya ji to come. And there when Shankaracharya ji comes there, finally he prostrates. Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya ji, why he is having some disciples and ashram is also there, he is teaching them and all that, he is waiting. And so when Shankaracharya ji reaches, prostrates to him and asks him, he asks Shankaracharya ji, who are you? Shankaracharya ji at that point in time, his name is Shankara only. So he gives out the Dasha Shloki. Na bhumir na toyam na tejo na vayu, all that 10 verses he compiles beautifully, he composes beautifully, each one ending with Tadeko Vashishta Shiva Kevaloham. I am only that infinite one, pure consciousness which is non-negatable. Tad Ekaha Avashishta Shiva. I am that Shiva, Kevala, I alone am consciousness. So he recognizes he is that disciple who has come, initiates him. Now, this is the parampara. So Gaudapadacharya ji, then Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya, then Shankaracharya ji, and Shankaracharya ji's life, all of us know, I am not going to go into the details of it. He had four main disciples. So Hastamalakacharya, Sureshwaracharya, Totakacharya, Padmapadacharya. So in that Guru Parampara shlokas, it is said, Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Mathasya Shishyam. That is Shankaracharya ji. Then these four disciples of his are mentioned, and in that parampara, till my Guru, Asmad Gurun Santatam Anatosmi. So from Narayan Bhagwan till my Guru, I prostrate to all of them. This is the Advaita Guru Parampara Stotram, Shloka. Now, why did we learn so many things about this whole story? See, some of these things may not appeal to our rational mind, etc. But we have to understand that whom we are talking about, these are people who are great siddhas, yogis, and our limited understanding of logic, science, etc. will not be able to comprehend all this. Shraddha is required, one. And if you see, Gaudapada ji also comes to meet Shankaracharya ji. Vedavyasa Maharshi has also come to meet Shankaracharya ji. Of course, he surrendered to his Guru Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya and got sannyas from him, so he was named Shankaracharya. But the point is that this knowledge of Advaita comes down to us from this great lineage where Bhagavan himself is the Guru. And Bhagavan Vishnu, when we say here, Narayanam Padma Bhuvam, from there it comes, and Bhagavan Shiva himself has taken the form as Shankaracharya and come. Patanjali Maharshi himself has taken the form as Govinda Bhagavat Pada and come. So in this tradition you will find Shiva and Vishnu are not too different. Bhagavan is so happy that Shankaracharya ji himself, Vishnu Bhagavan is very happy, his Ishta is Shiva. Shankaracharya ji himself has come to write the commentary on Brahma Sutra, etc. And Vedavyas ji meets him, has discussions with him, and it is Vedavyas ji who extends his life by another 16 years. Shankaracharya ji was supposed to be there only for 16 years. Then he got extension of 16 years, and so he did the great work of revival of Sanatana Dharma. At 32, he quietly disappeared behind Kedarnath. Gaudapadacharya also came to meet Shankaracharya ji. And Shankaracharya ji was very happy, prostrated to him, and Gaudapada ji was very pleased with his commentary on the Karikas. So the Bhashya that he wrote on the Gaudapada Karikas is what we will be studying, as well as the Brahma Sutra Bhashya that he wrote. So Vedavyas ji met him for that, and Gaudapadacharya ji blessed him for the commentary that he wrote, and he asked him, what do you seek? Ask me anything. Shankaracharya ji said, I seek nothing except reveling in bliss of Brahman. He prostrated and Gaudapadacharya ji went. Now these are the great Mahatmas in whose lineage we are in Advaita Parampara. They remain in subtle form, and so when we remember them, when we invoke them, their grace definitely manifests. We should not think that they are not in the physical form, so they are not there. They all remain in subtle forms and they continue to guide. It is a living parampara. That's my point. The Guru Parampara is a living tradition in our Sanatana Dharma. And these great masters are there in subtle forms, and if the student is ready, if the student has that purity of mind, etc., not only the student will realize the truth, but if the teachers have to come meet, the teachers will come also. So for today I will stop here. If you have any questions, you please note them down. I will not be able to take them today. There is another program, I need to go to Pavai Ashram for that. But you please note down and we will take them up in the next satsang. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.